Hey, crazy people.
Hey guys.
It's Jay and Francis with Find It Crazy. We are a family of 9 who live full-time in an RV as we travel the country to see every national park. Today, we are super excited because we are in Fort Worth, Texas. Now, a lot of people might not get excited about Fort Worth, but,
But
we
we
are
do.
excited because this is actually where our family began.
Yes.
20-something years ago, right after we got married, we moved out here so I could go to graduate school. It's where both of our biological daughters were born, right here in this town. And so today, we're going to kind of go around and show our kids all of that history of our family. So we are really excited to be here to show the kids all of this area because for our family, this is really kind of where it all started for us. Francis and I probably hadn't been married 2 months when we left our family in North Carolina and Georgia and moved all the way out to Texas so that I could go to graduate school right here at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. And I know for me, that was the furthest west I had ever been.
Absolutely.
And also the furthest away from family that I had ever been. I know that was the case for Francis.
Yes, my whole family is from Alabama, and so I was born and raised there, went to school at Stanford University, then Auburn University where I met Jay. So I didn't get very far out of Alabama ever. And so to move all the way to Texas all by ourselves, just newly married, that was an absolute adventure.
It really was. I mean, we were out here. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of love, and that was probably a good thing because we didn't have a lot of money.
We took just about everything out of our parents' houses.
We stole everything that we could. We got a little U-Haul, put all our Connor's furniture in it, and then tried to steal everything we could from our parents' houses just so we could furnish a little 2-bedroom duplex. And when we drove up to it, Francis cried.
I cried because, when you're just newly married, you have this vision of the white picket fence and the little bitty house with all the pretty flowers. And we drove up to Seminary housing that I think was old military housing.
It was, yeah.
And had not been updated in probably that long. And so it was in bad
paint was peeling off. We didn't know this at the time, but they were actually in the process of going through and renovating all of them.
Yes, and that
which would hit us. Yeah, like a year later, we actually had to move 2 doors down so that they could renovate ours and repaint it and siding in the floors. When we got inside, though, it was
so
great.
Nice,
they had repainted everything. It was hardwood floors. So it was perfect, and it was great because we were in a community with lots of other basically newlyweds. The housing area we were in at that time.
It was like a horseshoe duplex, and so
it was for all couples, no kids, and so everybody was in the same situation we were.
We had so much fun. It was just absolutely wonderful.
It was great, and then we started expanding our family, and that allowed us to upgrade our housing. So we joked that Anlin was born, and when she was, that allowed us to move into a 2-story, much bigger housing unit.
Yes.
And we lived there for the rest of the time that we were here till I finished out. And then right before we graduated, we got pregnant with Virginia. And we actually had to ask for permission to stay longer in housing so that we could have her because I graduated in December.
All
November.
My
she was born
epically late, and so
she was born in January, and so we got permission, and so she was born, and we joked that she lived in Texas for 2 whole days.
That's it.
She was born. They released us from the hospital. 24 hours later, we came home, packed up a few remaining bags, got in the car, and drove to Georgia.
Headed to Georgia, and it was really just the sweetest time. And we joke with our kids that, we began life with just absolutely no money. We really, really had nothing. There were days when we would go on a date night, once we had Anley, we would go on a date night to the local Wendy's, and there was the $1 menu.
Yep.
And so we would have $5. And so Jay would get a cheeseburger, and I would get nuggets, and Anley was little, so she just kind of munched on some French fries that we shared. And then there was $2 left. We would get waters, and there was $2 left. And Jay would take us to the Dollar Tree, and he would say, babies, y'all can have whatever you want. You just pick it up and you
Francis
can have
would get
anything.
a prize and Anley would get a prize.
And this is why I have such a love for the Dollar Tree. Like, I walk in and I'm like, this is my homeland. Like, this is where I was built for, because that was what we would do just about every single week. But you know,
sometimes it would take us 2 weeks to save up that $5.
Yeah, but you know what? That was the sweetest time, because we were in a community with people who were just like us, but really it allowed us to appreciate all the things that God has blessed us with from now on. And starting small was just the sweetest place. And we look back on those memories as some of the very best we ever had. Life was so much simpler, and we just had one child, and then pregnant with our second child. And so no matter where you are, sometimes we can look down on where we are and think, man, I just don't have anything. But you can make the very best out of where you are and choose to have great joy in the journey, no matter if that's a high or a low, little or large. You can live epically in a small space. And now we're back to a smaller place than we lived in our first duplex. So who would have thought we would be back here living smaller with more kids than we ever imagined?
But it has been fun being back here, walking around campus, showing the kids where I went to class and where I worked, where we lived. It's just neat. Another just kind of great aspect of this RV life is we get to go where we want to, and we get to stop some places and show off, part of our lives that the kids might not have ever got to see otherwise.
And we really haven't been back since then.
No.
So for us, this is also just really fun for us to see how it's changed and how things are still the same in many areas. And this is such a beautiful campus. It has such a peaceful, lovely atmosphere. So it was really fun to kind of come back and think of all the times I strolled Anley in a stroller, and all the times we had lunch together under these big trees. And so, our story kind of began in Auburn, but then it really flourished.
This
and
is where our family story
That's
really
right.
began.
That's where our family started.
So now that we've kind of shown the kids around the seminary, and of course, some of them didn't really care, but there were a couple of them that were like just really awe-inspired that, oh, y'all live there, and why you walked across there, and where was your class at?
Because there's a really cool kind of bridge area, so the students don't have to wait on the traffic, because it's a pretty
student
big
housing is on the opposite side of a 5-lane highway.
So there's a tunnel that goes underneath, and so you can walk up underneath, and the kids thought that was really cool. So that was fun.
So, but now that we're done with all that, we're going to go have some fun around Fort Worth. Of course, Fort Worth is known for its stockyards, for its cattle drives. We went down there several times when we were here in seminary, mostly when our family came and they could pay for stuff. But we're going to go down there and enjoy some of the longhorns, the cattle drives they have. They have a couple cattle drives every day.
So much fun.
And find a good place to eat. Chicken nuggets. Sky, what you got?
Grilled ham and cheese.
Ooh, it looks
What
good.
about you, Miss Ruthie?
What you got?
Handmade sandwich.
What are these?
What is that?
I don't know. Are they tater tots? Okay.
So we just got back and we had a blast at the StockYards. We got to see a longhorn. What was it?
What's your
Red? What's it called? Roundup? Cattle drive. That was it. We actually got to see a longhorn cattle drive, which was pretty cool, right down the middle of the street there. Got to see all of that Old West kind of history and that National Historic Site. And we got to eat lunch at an amazing restaurant. Sky, where did we go?
It's a biscuit place.
A biscuit place. That's right. It's called the Biscuit Bar. If you're ever anywhere near Fort Worth, you really ought to go there.
Yes.
We were just kind of walking around looking at all the different places. We actually tried to pick somewhere else and it was closed. And so we ended up going down there and we were so glad that we did.
Yeah, it's right down Mule Alley. And so there's a little offshoot. It's really cute. It's got a beautiful, beautiful kind of statues of these gorgeous horses kind of down the middle of the street. And then there's this little place called the Biscuit Bar. And you can get just about any type of biscuit that you can imagine. So what did you get?
I got a ham and cheese biscuit sandwich.
Ooh, a ham and cheese biscuit sandwich. And those biscuits
Oh my gosh, they're huge. The kids' meals are amazing.
Yeah, they're like $4.50 to like $5. And they get a biscuit every bit this size.
Big as their
Filled with meat and cheese and all kinds of yummy goodies. You got applesauce. What else did you get? Or tater tots, which are really good. And what else did you get?
Strawberry.
Rainbow sherbet. So she got some rainbow sherbet and a fountain
I
drink.
redo it.
No, we don't have to redo it.
Okay. No,
All
we're
right.
not.
All right,
Okay.
take two. So, Sky, what did you get for dessert?
We got rainbow sherbet.
Okay, so they get a little cup of ice cream, a fountain drink, a biscuit, a side. It's amazing, and it's run by a really awesome family. We got to read a little bit about their story, and they have 3 kids, and they opened this, born out of a tragedy. God just led them to start this really incredible little restaurant, and so you should go because I got the Monte Cristo biscuit, and I will tell you that was unbelievably yummy. It was like heaven on a plate. And Virginia got a big salad. And she said she'd moved to Fort Worth.
Croutons made out of biscuits.
Yeah. And so her view is I think she would move there just for that restaurant.
So that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this, we hope that you'll like this video. Also subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our adventures. And if you have missed some of them, you can click on that video right down there and catch back up. Until next time, go out and have some crazy fun with your crazy family. See you guys.
Bye, guys.